Hello, my name is Tony. Welcome to part 3, Creation and the Human. A fundamental premise that runs through all these videos is that the sun has risen in the east and sets in the west. Now this is a very simple way of saying that the same fundamental laws have applied right the way across the generations. So if we want to improve our understanding or deepen our understanding of the natural laws, it is good to look at these to see how other people understood these same laws. This way we can deepen our understanding, because often another person's way of understanding things gives us a better view. I hope you enjoy this video. At first glance, this Mycenae bull of about 1300 BC just looks like a bit of over-decorated pottery. But upon closer consideration of the various elements of the design, it seems to be saying something quite vast. On the forehead there is a kind of cross with two little crosses in attendance. Then there is an arrow pointing down into what seemed like a spiral, and rising up on the outside of the spiral are two snakes that seem to be whispering something into the ear of the bull. This vase was probably used for pouring out wine, and could have been used in some kind of ceremony. Even today, at the heart of the Christian ceremony, there is the communion with the bread and the wine. Going back to the forehead, and consider this in a bit more detail. Often, with this kind of cross, on each arm there would be a picture or symbol of the 4 seasons or the 4 phases of the moon, and sometimes when a medieval cross is looked at from the back, there is a winged bull, a winged lion, a winged eagle, and a winged human. This motif turns up with pictures of Jesus the Christ, and in the earlier versions just the influence was shown, but in the Renaissance the Gospel writers and the influence are shown as separate entities. One of the ideas a cross might indicate is that in anything there are 4 parts or elements. If we take a year as an example, it is made up of the 4 elements: spring, summer, autumn, winter. And if in a bad year there is too little or too much of one of the seasons, then the crop yields are badly affected. So in anything that is made up of 4 elements, it needs the right amount of each of the elements. This turns out to be true even at the genetic level of life. By using the 4 elements andesine, cryosine, thymine, and guanine, the DNA strands are able to make all the substances for controlling how a cell behaves, in union with all the other cells that go to make up a living organism. This incredible feat of bioengineering is done by creating specific ordering of these elements along the spine of the DNA. Looking at the 2 attendant crosses, could this be a feature of perspective, where the big cross looks bigger because it is nearer to us? If we colour the crosses and let them orbit the apparent circle, it highlights the idea that each of the 3 crosses takes centre stage at different times. So if we consider the 3 crosses to be one unit, then when 1/3 is active, the other 2/3 are less active or in support. This could help us understand the concept that at universal level, or with triadic structures, there is a natural division of 1/3, 2/3. Maybe we can read the crosses as stars, with the 3 crosses at the centre representing a godhead of some sort. In Egyptian thinking, Hathor was the goddess of the universe, and she was often represented as a cow. Going down below the 3 stars, there is an arrow or chevron. While we're in this section, note perhaps the early heraldry. This arrow is pointing down into a spiral, so it seems to indicate that the influence of the 3 stars is getting sucked or pushed into the spiral. The moon goes around the planet as the planet goes around the sun, as the sun goes around the dog star or Sirius. Looking at the planet from the sun, we would see the moon spiraling around the Earth. Looking at the sun from Sirius, we would see the Earth spinning around the sun. So could we read the design as a universal influence coming into our solar system? Then, if we look at the outside of the spiral, there appears to be 2 snakes rising up with their mouths around the ear of each bull. Keeping to the universal theme, the snake is often shown as being part of the universe. So putting all this together, is this design saying that something of a universal nature is sent into our solar system, gets acted upon, and makes a return journey back to the stars? If so, it would be the reverse of our game of snakes and ladders. On one side it says yes, the universe is mechanistic, and yes, the universe does change or evolve, with part of this change being triggered from below. Counting the crosses highlights some interesting numerology. Altogether, there are 13 crosses. Going back to the idea of Godhead, it is 1 splitting into 3. 1, 3, 13. Then there are the 2 lower groupings of 5 stars, or 2 pentagrams. Could this be saying something about gender? Do the 2 genders need to have equal status for this system to work properly? And what has 5 got to do with this anyway? Next week, if you're interested, we'll have a look at this in the next issue.